What's up, guys? It's CovertCode here, and welcome back to episode 22 of our Zero to Hero series. In the previous video, I showed you guys how to use Tween Service, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to use ModuleScripts. So let me just delete everything from last time, as usual. This, and that's done. Now, something which is of paramount importance when it comes to coding efficiently is modularity, okay? So remember how for loops really help you prevent, repetitive code and stuff like that? ModuleScripts essentially help you do the same thing. So if you have a function which you're using throughout more than one script, for example, you might want to modularize that, okay? It just makes your code much easier to read, and it makes it more efficient, okay? Not to mention less redundant. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a script inside of CovertCode service, just like this, and zoom in, the usual stuff. And I'm also going to be creating a module script inside of replicated storage. You could place this anywhere really. The two primary places I would like to, show you guys is replicated storage and CovertCode service. You could also opt to put that in server storage instead of replicated storage. However, personally, I only ever put it inside of replicated storage and CovertCode service. Those are just my personal preferences, okay? So let's go to the script, and let me just declare a variable. So local module script is equal to game.replicatedStorage.moduleScript, okay? So we're essentially just finding where the module script is. And if we just go to the module script, okay, you can see that it comes with some standard code, just standard blueprint. And essentially all it's doing is, you've got a variable here and it's storing a function inside of that, and it's called module, okay? And then it's returning the module. Now, this might be confusing. There's a return statement outside of a code block, It's returning something outside of a function, or, well, generally it's a function, okay? That's odd if you've never used ModuleScripts. Now, let me show you something, guys. So if I want to remove this, okay, and just say return hello there, okay, just like this. And let me just go to the script, okay? Now, this is just going to return hello there. And if I just print out ModuleScript, okay, nothing is going to happen, because essentially all I'm doing is I'm storing the ModuleScript's location within that variable. However, if I want to access whatever it's returning, okay, then you need to do this. So find the ModuleScript first, like this, and then just say require, okay, parentheses around the location, just like this, and all you're doing is you're requiring that module's location, okay? So remember, guys, find the module script and then, encapsulate that within parentheses and put a require before the parentheses. And all you're doing is you're asking it to give you the content within that module script, okay? That's what the require means. You're requiring it to give you the content. And in our case, it's going to return this hello there string, okay? And if I print it out on line 3, then if I press run, that's just going to print out the hello there statement, okay? Just like this, and that's pretty much that. However, module scripts like this aren't very useful on their own, okay? Usually you have more complex module scripts, and let me just get into that right now. So if we just delete everything inside of that module script, okay? And let's just define a table like this. So local module, same thing that it had in here before, okay? And I'm just going to return that module, just like this. Now, let's say you had a sort of database within your game, okay? And if you don't know what that is, that's okay. Imagine you have a shop within your game, okay? And instead of listing out every single item manually, you could just do, well, you're still gonna have to list them out manually, but they're going to be a nice sort of organized module script. So let's say you have item A is going to be, 300 coins, for example, and car B is going to be 500 coins, and let's say you have a dragon, so dragon is equal to 900 coins. You could also have a cat or something, that's 50. You could have a module script which essentially just describes and stores the information regarding a shop's items, okay? That's one pretty useful use case for module scripts. And if I just print that out now, it's just going to print out the entire dictionary, okay? And there it is. So let me just stop. And you could obviously just access the dictionary. So if I wanted to access cat, okay, dot cat, just like this is just going to show me how much that cat costs, okay? It costs 50 coins, just like that. So if you're making a shop system, that's pretty useful, okay? Now, one of the final most useful things, in my opinion, about module scripts is that you can actually bind functions to the module script, okay? So let me just rename the module script so it's more practical, okay? Let's say I'm just going to call this dragon module, okay? Just like this. Let me just change this to dragon module, okay? And I'm just going to require a script just like this. Now, this dragon module is essentially just going to be handling anything relating to dragons, okay? So let's say a dragon wants to breathe fire, okay? So function module.breathe fire, okay? Just like this. And there you go. And you might have noticed that I did not use that local keyword. And that's because I want this function to be accessed from outside of the script, okay? And I also added module dot the function's name, okay? And that's because I want this function to be able to be required from outside that module, okay? So let me just rephrase. You've got this module table, you're returning it, and essentially all you did is you binded this function, okay? You bound that function to that table, and if I do this now, so ModuleScript.breathe fire, just like this, I'm essentially just calling that function, okay? So let me just do that. I'm essentially just calling that function from one script, and it's just happening in another. So let's say wait 4 seconds, finished breathing fire, okay? And if I click run, okay, I'm just going to be requiring the module, okay? I already covered that. And the module script is then going to ask, okay, so this script is essentially going to ask that module script to run the function called breathe fire, okay? I'm going to press run, and after 4 seconds, it's going to print out this, okay? It finished breathing fire. Now, obviously, that would be, you know, much more complex if you're actually scripting a dragon to breathe fire. You know, you'd have effects, you'd have things changing color, stuff like that. But I just printed out just to actually show you guys that this works. So let me just add something else. So function module.start flying, okay? Print started flying. Okay, and if you're gonna start flying, you better know how to land. So function module.land, okay, print landed, and you can just keep on going like this and making, you know, different functions to describe and, you know, carry out actions. A more practical example of this would actually be, you know, about like pets. You can make them follow someone around, or you can make them, you know, do an emote or something. You can just use module scripts for that, because that would be very, very sort of organized in such a way that it would be very, very easy to read, okay? So that's really just the power of module scripts. So let's just say module script.start flying, okay? And then you're gonna breathe fire, and then you're gonna land, okay? .land. And I'm just going to press run, and here we go. It started flying, okay? It finished breathing fire, and it landed. Okay, so essentially the key takeaway is just requiring, and that you can actually have functions bound to the module script, and you know, you can have this return an entire list of things describing something else, like a shop, for example, okay? So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's all I have on this video about module scripts. I would really appreciate if you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And if you have any suggestions about what videos I should make in the future, then just leave a comment in the comment section down below suggesting what I should make next, and I'll see you guys next time.